Back in college, you know, I was dealing with a lot of rejections, and it just led me down to go down a rabbit hole of facial aesthetics. And one of the biggest things when it comes to faces and to make it look aesthetically pleasing to the eye is to actually have a low body fat percentage. During my summer semester of college, what I did was I actually lost 10 pounds in 3 days. Very dramatic approach, but I wanted to get this fucking fat off my face, get these cheekbones and this jawline popping. Once I did that, man, I came back to college and it was completely different. People were looking at me, asking me like, yo, AJ, did you get a facelift? Yo, AJ, is that you? Bro, I hardly recognized you. This modeling club around the campus, one of the leaders actually approached me, and that's how I was known around college, was the guy that was in the modeling club, and we would go around and do shows around campus and stuff. I guess that was like the first ever time I was scouted out. After I got out of college, I went to work in the mall at Forever 21. Random strangers were coming up and approaching me and saying like, oh my gosh, like you're so attractive and like you should be on TV. Are you a model? Oh my gosh, this girl over here, like she thinks you're so cute. She thinks you're so beautiful. Like you're cute, you're good. Like it was just a complete 180 from what I was getting. And I realized like I was getting like feedback in real time. It was like my efforts were turning into results. Transform my looks just felt like I was maxing out my stats in a video game. Like I was maxing out like my face and body stat. And I want to give you guys some tips on how to become a model too. So here are 3 tips on how to become a model. So the first tip involves getting signed to an agency. Now, getting signed to an agency isn't a end all be all. Like so many models just solely want to focus on getting signed, getting signed, getting signed. What your modeling career depends on is how much work you put in. It's just a lot about self-promotion. Even if you are signed to an agency, you still have to have some sort of self-promotion going on. You know, a lot of times that's with social media. Nowadays, like social media is such a big thing, and it's something that brands and clients are gonna look at if they are consider hiring you. So they're gonna be looking at your following account, they're gonna be looking at your portfolio, what kind of pictures that you post. This is going to be a determining factor for a lot of clients if they're going to choose you or not. I remember Jay-Z had said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man. So you have to treat yourself as a business. This channel, Pretty Boy Floyd, is a business, and this is a brand, man. I choose to invest into myself, and I go about myself as a business. So when it comes to getting signed, is to just keep on going to open calls, and also keep shooting with photographers. That leads me into my next tip, which is to connect with local photographers. Around the area, there's gonna be like model and photographer meetup. Most of the times it is for free. If not, it's for like a very small entry fee for like $10 or $20 or so. But you are going to be making a lot of connections. You're going to be meeting a lot of other models and a lot of other photographers, and you're gonna be coming home with like 10 different photo shoots. If you do that, I recommend you bringing like 5 outfits so that you have like content for days. That's a very good place to start, is at those model and photographer meetup. Another great place is on Instagram, just DMing photographers. Once you start getting your foot in the door, you'll actually have some photographers come and DM you. And when it comes to photographers, there are going to be some that like charge you testing fees. Sometimes that could be like a couple of $100s, but again, invest into yourself, man. You're a business, invest into yourself. When it comes to shooting with photographers, the reason why I'm saying this is a very good tip, a good way to get you to get signed with agencies, is because these photographers work closely with agencies. So you are going to be a strong recommendation from the photographers to the agency. This is why it's very good for you to network and connect. Your network is your net worth. And the reason why networking is so important is because a lot of the gigs that I get is not even from my agency. It'll be from me reaching out, or from people reaching out to me because of what I post on social media. Some of the big gigs that I've gotten: Brazil, I was a hair model; in Australia, firefighter calendar; Vogue for the brand Hoodlum. Hoodlum was in Next in Fashion on Netflix. I've gotten in a Cadillac commercial for Black History Month in 2021. CUROLOGY did some digital marketing with me, and digital campaign across the social network. Influence Influence is a hair care company. I'm on their like website, which is pretty cool, like to see that. New York Swim Week and New York Fashion Week. Also B&H Photo, their Def of Field event. I was a model that was standing in like these sets, and photographers would just come up and shoot. It was really dope. They had like a lot of different sets that had like lights and props. When you finally book these gigs, this leads me into my next tip, which is that you as the model usually foots the bill when it comes to flights and hotels. Now, if you have a client who is nice enough to reimburse you 50 cents a mile, they will. So reimbursement is legalese for the client will pay you that 50 cents a mile after they pay you a month or two after your gig. Kind of sucks that like in a negative profit for a while, and a lot of models will tell you like that net 30-day paycheck shit, like that shit sucks. Some people even get like a net 90, which is like 3 months after the job. So you're gonna realize you don't get payment like right away. Ironically, the flights and hotels that I got paid for was the one in Brazil and the one in Australia. So the 2 international ones that I did. So my last and final tip is rejection. You have to keep hitting that piñata. What do I mean by that? Hit that metaphysical piñata. Keep hitting it. It is not the first time that you hit that piñata, candy is not gonna come out. If you hit that motherfucker 100 times and it finally breaks, it's not that 100th time that broke it, it's the 99 times that preceded that hit that broke it. And what I mean by this is that everything that you do, man, it's worth it. It does not go unnoticed. And you may believe in God, the universe, whatever it is, but the more times you go up at bat, the more likely that you're about to hit something. So persistency is key in this game and in life in general. So just don't give up, keep on swinging, man. I'll give you an example. So last year, I walked to New York Fashion Week, and it was a really dope experience. You know, I loved it. Another thing is models usually don't get paid for New York Fashion Week. It's quite rare if a model gets paid for New York Fashion Week. Now, this year, I was going up to castings, and this was actually going to be for paid gigs. I was hype. I was thinking like, yo, I'm about to get like all these paid gigs. You know, there's hundreds of dollars up in the air for me to get. I was going to New York for like 3 weeks, just back and forth, 2 to 3 times a week. I'm driving like 14-hour days going from New York to Virginia, and I didn't get shit. And I was kind of upset. I was mad. Then this company had hit me up and wanted me to do a skincare campaign for them. I did a photo shoot for them and got paid a couple of $100s, more than I would have gotten paid for the jobs that I would have landed in New York Fashion Week. Always be open to other opportunities elsewhere. Don't get upset if you don't get it directly from the source. Be open to it. It's almost like karma. You know how they say like you love those that hate you and hate those that love you? Energy comes in different sources, but that energy is always gonna come back to you. If you have a family member and like they show you a lot of love and you don't reciprocate that back, you'll realize if you like somebody and you're like falling head over heels for them and they don't reciprocate that energy, that's what I'm saying is like energy gets exchanged in different ways. So when it comes to this stuff, man, just do it, put in the effort. The more times that you put yourself out there is the better chance that you will land something. So I'm gonna end the video off on this. It is essential that you have a big enough why as to why you're doing this. An overnight success in modeling is rare. It does happen, but it can usually be a curse rather than a blessing because most of those people take it for granted. Don't get upset if you go out tomorrow morning for a run and somebody doesn't get out their car in the middle of traffic and comes up and runs to you and wants to sign a 6-figure modeling deal, okay? But maybe it will happen, and that's why you always gotta stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. All right, I'm out. Peace.